Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV, DREZZED. This is Neon, and this is kind of a morning roundup of news that doesn't quite warrant its own video. We got a lot of people in the chat, so we're doing this one live. I'm forewarning you, I'm not very good at live streams yet, but I am attempting to get better at it. Thank you so much for those of you who have shown up already. We got a lot of news this morning. We're going to talk about that Pokémon Department of Homeland Security video debacle. So this, as soon as I saw this video, and you guys would have to go pull that up, it's the video where we've got ice raids, and then we're setting that to the tune of the Pokemon anime, the intro, and people thought it was funny on X. My first thought was Nintendo likes to sue people for having ROM images or making bootleg Pokemon games. This isn't going to go well, and they've actually issued a statement, so we're going to talk about that. Could Nintendo sue the government if they wanted to? Probably. I think it's happened before. Will they? I don't know. I mean, Nintendo is highly litigious, but I don't know if they want to go there. But I know Theo Vaughn complained about it, and they took the video down. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. What else we got here? Bluesky is apparently going to do more and more moderation, which is good because I think they really need to. Let's actually get this up here so you guys can see it. There we go. Bluesky is going to put the BANHAMMER down on people, I guess. I think they have to, because that is the platform where people were openly wishing for death, right? It's like they were making lists of people, and Bluesky is crazy. If you're an online influencer, don't go to Bluesky and Google your name, because you probably will come up on some kind of crazy ass list, or people are going to say some crazy ass stuff about you. So I had checked the other day, and somebody was talking about us and said that we had literally ruined their lives, and we had doxed them. I don't even know who this person is. And that we are card-carrying members of the Nazi party. I'm like, what the hell? It's some like crazy animation stand, right? So we got that. We got, let's see, comic artists threatening to kill themselves. We got the animation industry is not in a good place right now. We've got some tweets from X, and I actually had to pull up something else here too, and I didn't do it because I am really slipping here, guys. I am not good. There we go. I'm not very good at live streams yet, but we'll talk about this. I might have to pull it up in a separate window, I'm thinking. All right. So I guess we'll get into it here with Pokemon. Pokemon. Guess what, guys? The Pokemon company says we're not involved with DHS. The company distanced itself from arrest video, and it's come from TMZ. And of course, they have the cards. They said the Department of Homeland Security's Pokemon-themed video showcasing immigration arrests is going viral, but the folks at Pokemon are not giving it their stamp of approval. Why would they? Now, the clip shows federal law enforcement agents taking suspects into custody as the Pokemon theme song plays, and the edit features scenes from the hit TV show, but it sounds like the feds did this all on their own. Yeah, I think somebody's mom was taking a lot of Tylenol. Let me is that how we're gonna say it now? So I'm not gonna play the music. I don't want to get dinged, but yeah, I knew they weren't gonna be happy about this as soon as I saw it, and I said, hey, Nintendo's not gonna be happy about this. Pokemon Company is not gonna be happy about this. And people are like, oh, it's fine, it's just a meme. I'm like, yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, they sue everybody for everything. So again, you guys can go find it. I don't know if it's on YouTube, but it's definitely on Twitter, or I'm sorry, X. We have to call it X now. A rep for the Pokemon Company International tells TMZ we are aware of a recent video posted by the Department of Homeland Security that includes imagery and language associated with our brand. Our company was not involved in the creation or distribution of this content, and permission was not granted for the use of our intellectual property. Yeah, I am reasonably sure that they would say no if you asked them, like, hey, could we do a montage of ice raids set to the Pokemon theme song, Nintendo? Are you cool with that? I don't think they would have signed off on that. DHS captioned the clip, "Gotta catch them all," and the video ends with deportees being displayed as Pokemon cards. Unclear if the honchos of Pokemon are considering any other options here. Sometimes lawsuits are involved. That's all the company's saying for now. And Theo Vaughn, yeah, I guess he was included in one of these. And they actually took it down for him. He called out the Department of Homeland Security for using footage of him to tout deportations in a video that since appears to have been removed from their account. Short video posted on DHS's account on Tuesday featured Vaughn saying, "Heard you got deported, dude." He disapproved of it. He said, "Yo, I didn't approve to be used in this. I know you know my address, so send a check." The problem with that is, you do that, and you're kind of in the crosshairs, I think, of some crazy ass activists too, because they're going to think that you signed off on that, right? So let's see here. Is parody protected by free speech? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I have no idea. This came from the Hollywood Reporter. I don't know if it's considered fair use by the government. I have no idea. And I know some lawyers have weighed in on it. They thought that the Pokemon company actually did have legal grounds to go after them if they wanted to. That would be kind of a coup, right? But then you're talking, if they didn't want to be involved with politics, and then they're suing the government, and then that's all the headlines are going to be about Pokemon, or, oh my God, Pokemon suing the federal government. Pokemon company pushes back against ICE raid videos. Let's see here. This comes from the Hollywood Reporter. They have anything else on it? The company did not clarify whether it plans to pursue legal action, but Doug McGowan, Pokemon's former chief legal officer, told IGN in an interview that he expects the company to let the matter pass quietly, noting its long-standing aversion to controversy in the U.S. market. Somewhat. Except for suing people, right? Suing people for fan games and all that. This is far from the first time Trump's Department of Homeland Security has seen blowback for its use of artist work that's far more universally beloved than the actions of ICE agents. So they had, let's see, Jay-Z, Theo Vaughn. I don't know if they can sue or not. I have no idea. I don't know if we have a lawyer in the house or not, but I have no idea. Kean says, no one is claiming Pokemon or Nintendo or Game Freak supports this. They're trying to get ahead of it, I think, because we don't want, again, terminally online people to go to Nintendo HQ and think that they signed off on this, because I'm sure they did not. Spike TV says, I think the Pokemon company issuing a statement is the only response I can take legally. Yeah, probably. Riku says, Weird Al did not. He was always polite and ask. Yeah, Weird Al, yeah, he actually would ask. I think he, and a lot of celebrities, they were flattered that Weird Al would want to do a parody, if I remember correctly. Because, yeah, you don't want any legal entanglements, right? Here we have a Commandant. Nintendo, please sue the federal government. Insanity Welcome says, I just think it's hilarious that the government is effectively trolling with all this stuff. It has to be a world's first. Yeah, it's the weirdest timeline to be in. Again, I saw it and I'm like, I cannot believe that this is an official post from an official government account. It's like, I mean, at least it's not boring, but I was like, yeah, they're not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy about this. So there is that. I don't know. There hasn't been any movement on it that I'm aware of, but everybody's talking about it. Again, this is like dominating the headlines. I don't know if they want that to be, everybody's just talking about Pokemon in the context of this lawsuit, or the Department of Homeland Security, which is actually bringing more attention. So if you have a lot of people working at the Pokemon company that are against the ICE raids, and all your headlines are Pokemon company, DHS, it's going to piss people off too. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Hey, do you guys remember Gamescom? Let's see if I have the other. Yeah, there we go. You remember the GDC? Remember this? This is the game developer conference, and I think it's in San Francisco. And a bunch of developers last year were screaming. This year they were screaming, but for other reasons. They were screaming because if you went to their conference, they were afraid Trump was going to personally keep you there. And now apparently they're rebranding because things aren't going so well for them. So I saw this. Let's see if I can pull this up. Game Developer Conference rebrands as GDC Festival of Gaming. The industry is changing, and so are we. So basically, things aren't good in gaming right now. A lot of layoffs, right? And that's why they were screaming before. But they're also like, we need to cast a wider net. This is kind of like the Hollywood unions trying to come after YouTube. They said the Game Developer Conference is rebranding as GDC Festival of Gaming. This is coming from gamesindustry.biz. With the next event taking place March 9th through the 13th in 2026 in San Francisco. Announcing the change on social media, the organization, where is it? It's on Bluesky. Of course it's on Bluesky. It's not on Twitter. I got to go see this. It's not, of course it's not on Twitter. We're changing the game. Okay, we'll go back out to this. We'll see the response. They're changing the game. The industry is changing, and so are we. All right, the landscape is transformed. Budgets are tighter. Translation, we're all getting laid off. Plus, most of our friends are getting fired for shooting their mouths off about Charlie Kirk. Attention is fractured. Discovery is harder than ever. New tech and tools have redefined who can create. So basically, anybody can make a game and make a lot of money, and yeah. Our community needs more connection, visibility, and support. Well, screaming into the sky is probably not the visibility you guys wanted. The Festival of Gaming exists to meet your needs, bringing the entire industry together at a moment that matters. More connection, more opportunity, more relevance. From conference to industry game changer, GDC, the full game making journey, all in one place. There will be a new pass structure for March 2026 with more access and no more trade-offs. So full access is the baseline, not the exception. The next conference is scheduled to take place from March 9th, in San Francisco. The organizers of this year's Game Developers Conference revealed almost 30,000 people were in attendance. This matches 2024's figure, but there was an increase in exhibitors from 325 to 400. Now, this is curious because they told people, do not come. Do not come to San Francisco. Trump will not let you leave. And there were several developers out there saying, I'm afraid to go. I'm not going. And actually more people went. So, I don't know. Tabling at these shows is like really expensive, man. It really is. I used to handle trade shows for the one company I worked for. And we've done, comic conventions, stuff like that. And the reason we don't do more conventions now, people are like, why don't you do conventions? I'm like, because it's expensive and there's no return on investment. I mean, it's not worth it for us, for the most part, to just go to try to sell enough stuff just to cover the cost of travel and tabling. And I'm like, we could literally just, sell stuff at home or through our store, or literally do just about anything else. You're lucky if you break even. Very few companies, and I include, big publishers, and come out of these shows making money. I mean, they don't. Over 1,000 speakers took part in the event, which hosted 750 sessions. Let's see, the after hours event, 6,000 people. Okay. Sarah Brewster, founder of People and Culture. Okay. Let me, Sarah Brewster, founder of People and Culture consultancy Fresh Seed, is the latest speaker confirmed for this is games industry. Okay. This is games industry. This is a different thing. Oh, they're doing this thing. Okay. Never mind. This is okay. So gamesindustry.biz must need some traffic, because what these sites do is they basically make it an infinite scroll so they get extra page views. So I'm going to talk about this because this is weird. We have a people and culture consultancy firm called Fresh Seed. And it's the Games Industry HR Summit on October 2nd. We're talking about the game industry, right? So I hope it's not like a DEI thing. I don't know, but it's like they're still hiring these kinds of people. I swear to God. Let's go out to the post here. All right, so this is coming from the GDC on Bluesky. And anytime I see Bluesky as being their primary social media, it tells me pretty much everything I need to know about the company. I'm just like, yeah, you guys are going to be definitely quote unquote woke, looking for a certain audience. So let's see what people say. So bring it to Europe. Nobody is traveling to the US anymore. I think you should move to Canada. As an American, I need to stress it's not safe here for anyone to travel to. You need to take GDC out of the U.S. They need to move it to Vancouver. you need to move. Like, look, by the time the way things are going, by the time this thing rolls around in March, I think a lot more of these people will be losing their jobs. Still in the USA, pass. Are you going to stop letting women get roofied? What? Wow. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is funny. Xavier, glad to know you're committed to the exact same energy as all previous years. To reflect that, I recommend updating your copy. We're ensuring that the game remains unchanged, especially in the face of a growing fascist movement in the U.S. that is actively disappearing people who would come to this event from foreign countries. Not unless you're a Pokemon, an unregistered Pokemon. Then they might catch you. Hard pass on USA, but good luck. Oh, this is the guy. I think one of these guys was the guy who did the whole he did a whole rant on LinkedIn about how it wasn't safe to go to the USA. Are you going to make it affordable to attend and allow people to stream online for free? Nope. Okay, why? Yeah, so this, again, this is Bluesky. This is the audience you've cultivated. They're very, very anti-fash, and they're very, very broke, right? A lot of them. So they're going to be like, give it to us for free and move it to Canada because we don't like who the president is now. Oh my God, they're all going on about that. Lady Celestina, Lady Acetaminophen. As an American, I need to reinforce that traveling to this conference is completely unsafe for anyone who is not white or male. GDC would serve the community better if held outside of the USA. It's not worth risking a life or a livelihood. These people are serious. I mean, this is what's so wild about this is like these people are beyond parody, but they're also very, very serious and they're very, very online. And they really do think if you go to San Francisco of all places in the country, if you go to San Francisco, that Trump is going to personally stuff you into a Pokeball. Here's the other, God, this is like a parody. Were any generative AI tools used in the process of making this video? I don't think they were. I've watched it a few times now. So this is one guy's big concern is in our disposable, let me wrap my head around this. In our disposable throwaway social media post for a tech conference, he's concerned they're using AI. The other guy is watching it repeatedly, probably on loop, to look for any tells to see if they used AI. And then everybody else is complaining about how it needs to be moved to Canada because Trump. How do these people function in the real world? I mean, seriously, I don't understand. And I'm not saying you have to like Trump at all. I'm not saying you have to agree with Trump or what's going on in the government at all. But my God, these people are not even living in reality. Yeah, it's like I don't understand. How do you get out of bed in the morning? Some of them get out of bed in the morning and then they immediately take the Bluesky and start complaining about the fash. It's so weird. Make it Brazil. It's much cheaper than traveling to the U.S. Is it? Brazil's expensive. I know that D&D, Hasbro stopped publishing D&D themselves in Brazil. They had to get another partner because the import fees were too high. Adam, Pottery Beer. This guy's in no danger, right? You still want to do this in the USA, a place overrun by ICE targeting anyone from outside of the country. You're going to be ripe for fascists looking to fill quotas. They literally think that if you're a pasty, pudgy, white neckbeard going to this conference in San Francisco, that you're going to get stuffed into a Pokeball. Just me okay says Brazil, your skull's going to end up as an ashtray. I've heard it's pretty rough down there. I've never been, but I've heard it's pretty rough, right? So, I mean, good luck with that. These people, again, they're not living in reality. The fash are coming for you. The biggest complaint I hear every year is San Francisco. Yeah, because it's USA. Also, San Francisco is very expensive. I know, because I spent my teen years living right outside San Francisco, and it's very expensive. It used to be a really nice city. I mean, it always had crime, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. Actually, it was, compared to Oakland, it was nice. But clearly, they changed the name. It's right there. You guys stop being so negative. Clearly not if it's still hosted in the U.S. Take a big sip of tea and look at the quote tweets. Oh. I got to look at the quote tweets. Let's look at the quote tweets. What do we got here? How do we do this on here? View. Can I view it? Oh, here we go. Quotes. Oh my God. Talon says, change game, hide and seek with ICE stalking you as soon as you have your leave your hotel because they have a deportation quota to fill. Why are you worried about it? So if you run a developer meetup anywhere else in the world, you might want to speak up and save people some money before they get adopted by ICE. LMAO, this is rancid. I absolutely do not get the intended message here. I'm sorry. The old GDC can't come to the phone now. It's dead. Truly baffling message from the team. Gaming's Cracker Barrel moment is flowing weirdly smoothly. I can't believe this group has been othered by the president of the U.S. What the hell? Oh, hey, it's that conference that costs more than my entire game budget. Yeah, and I actually would agree with that. I think that for most people, I think these kinds of conferences are cost prohibitive. If you're an indie dev, like, I don't think there's any point, because all you're going to do is talk to other people in the industry. And if you're publishing your own stuff, then, what are you going to do? And frankly, the state of the game industry right now, you're better off just going on social media and trying to, do your own game, do your own comic, whatever it is. Go to social media, try to build a following there. Don't spend $10,000 or $20,000 to schlep your stuff to a convention, because you're not going to get a return on that unless you've got infinite money. Netflix forum says, so what you're saying is it's a corporate circle jerk. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Most of these conventions are, and they're very expensive. I'm not talking the public facing comic book conventions. I'm talking these trade shows. They're unless you're going with a specific goal in mind to make connections that will net your company potentially millions of dollars, there's literally no reason to go. There really isn't. What if you're a schlepper anyway? I don't know. I like to schlep my stuff sometimes. Yeah, conferences are good for networking. Yeah, that's it. I mean, if you're going for a specific goal, like we need some distribution, or we're looking for XYZ thing, yeah. If you're like a broke ass indie dev and you're going to sell more copies of your game, it's not gonna be worth it for you. I mean, that's just it. That's just it. Let's see here. Oh, hey, Jen, how's it going? Thank you. Didn't have to do that. Nintendo should lean into and make a tie game, 3 factions, Ace, Coyotes, and Antifa, hero shooter like Overwatch, payload as truck of immigrants. Oh my God. They tried putting that on Steam and it'd probably get banned, but then they would let the furry porn on Steam. I don't know if we're going to be allowed to have furry porn on Steam, because they're going to have that House committee thing going on October 8th. Hearing? Is it a hearing? I don't know. But they're going to have Gabe Newell is going to be there. We're going to have Dan Clancy from Twitch, and whoever the hell's in charge of Discord. I can't remember who else is going. But yeah, it's a bunch of boomers going to grill these guys and ask them about, I think, furry porn. I literally think that's going to be the conversation. It's going to be absolutely hilarious. I am 100% going to watch that from start to finish with the biggest bowl of popcorn. I don't even like popcorn, but I'm going to eat popcorn that day. I am. I'm going to watch this because I can just picture these 70-year-old men asking Gabe Newell about gay furry porn and him trying to explain it to these guys. It's like some dude that sounds like Foghorn Leghorn talking about yiffing. I mean, can you imagine that? God, that would be beautiful. I cannot wait. October 8th, guys. Mark your calendars for that. Um, let's see here. Richard says you'd be lucky to get a job digging a ditch. Yeah, right. Yeah, jobs are drying up. So here's the thing. This was Alyssa Mercante for Rolling Stone earlier this year, and they're all freaking out about ICE coming to get them or whatever. Um, Now, this was last night. I had somebody send me tweets that were marked on Twitter as being somebody potentially associated with Antifa. But I guess that's not actually what's going on. I think these people are actually putting this in their post themselves because I don't think Twitter is marking that. But I think what is potentially going to happen beyond the ICE issue, the bigger issue I think a lot of these people are going to have is if they have any association with Antifa and if they do designate it a terrorist organization, you're going to have a whole lot of Antifa all in one place. And those are the vans, the furry wagons, the Yiff mobiles. Those are the vans that are going to come for you, I think. So that's going to be, and I'm really wondering like what is going to happen because I can tell you there are so many people in comics, video games, animation in this space that are Antifa or Antifa adjacent or Antifa sympathizers. And if they designated a terrorist organization, like that might be game over for them. I have no idea. I have no idea how they're going to handle that. If they can actually go after individuals and be like, yeah, you were at a, protest 5 years ago. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. And then the problem with that though, too, is you're going to get people caught up in that net that aren't like, oh, you're on this Discord and they were plotting stuff on this Discord, even though you hadn't actually logged in 2 months or 3 months and you had no idea any of this shit was going on. I don't know. That's going to be wild because that's actually what I would worry more about there, Mr. Pasty-assed hipster neckbeard is that kind of a crackdown. And by March of next year, it's a possibility. I mean, it really is. So let's see what else we got going on here. Since we're talking video games, let's see here. We're going to get to Bluesky, I think, here pretty soon. This I saw on Fandom Pulse. So this is the Tetris CEO, and she's all for DEI. Now, I watched the Tetris movie, and I thought it was really freaking awesome. I did not expect it to be that good. I actually held off on watching it for a while because I forgot about it because it was on Apple. But Geeky and I watched it, and it was really good. Now, Maya is Maya Rogers. She was actually the girl in the movie, and she's the CEO of the company now. But yeah, they had an interview with Games Industry again. That's the same publication we're talking to. She admits that once she took over the company, has a lot more women. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. When my father was running it, it was more male. Well, because that was the demographic back then. Now we have a lot of women. That's great. We're doing amazing things. Girls can do it all. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I guess this is concerning people. She says she went on to defend DEI initiatives that discriminate based on sex and race. That in itself in America today is a thing that's being questioned. But I think it was so important to have because it did change how many people of diversity, of different backgrounds were allowed in the workplace. Then she didn't stop at defending it. She claimed it was needed. There needs to be something that is almost enforced to make sure there are enough women in the industry. I don't think so. I think that's, I mean, there have been women in the gaming industry, but again, a lot of times, choosing my words carefully here. A lot of times industries reflect the makeup of the audience because people that, played games or read comic books or, whatever, they grew up wanting to be part of that industry. So they're the ones who apply for those jobs. And I don't think anybody is being kept out. Now, what's going to happen now, and again, going back to what I was talking before, is because of the DI initiatives, I think people that happen to be quote unquote diverse, which is it's such a weird thing to talk about because even among believe it or not, there's diversity among white people too. It's like there's a lot. It's like get all the different countries in Europe. Everybody's very different, but because we've got more diverse people that they hired solely because they're diverse. Then when these projects come out and a lot of them fail because they didn't hire the most talented people, they were just in a mad rush to fill the quota or whatever it was. Then people who actually have legit talent, who are very, very good, are going to get castigated. I think we've seen this happen before, even during the height of DEI and all that. I remember we did a video or two on someone who was pitching to Cartoon Network or Crunchyroll, and they weren't even looking at their show because the attitude was we tried the woke stuff. It didn't work. So we're not even going to look at yours based on who you are, right? What you look like and what the show looks like, even though the show pitch was not quote unquote woke. They wouldn't even look at their portfolio. And that actually is a travesty. I don't think that should happen. But, when you start forcing anybody to take on a certain quota or certain number of people, that's not going to make for a better workforce. I mean, it might look better in a photograph that you post online to be like, look at all these diverse people working here. But if you're actually looking for the best people from all over the country, all over the world, you're naturally going to find a diverse group of people. And if they're not diverse, I mean, regardless, you're hiring the best people, right? I mean, it's not that hard, but, very weird. Yeah, this is true. Mikey says, to my knowledge, no one gave a damn about pilots, but with DI hiring practices, everyone's suspect. That is it. See also the FBI at the Trump rally in Butler. People are like, oh, DEI equals hiring incompetent people just because, they happen to have the right skin tone or the right sexual identity or right gender. You know what I'm saying? So that it actually hurts. It hurts the people it's supposed to help. We need to go back to hiring based on merit and equal opportunity employment, meaning that you're colorblind, gender blind in your hiring practices. And I would hate to think, she can run her company however she wants to, right? But I would hate to think that she would not hire a dude if the dude was like the best damn programmer on earth because he was a dude. I mean, that's discriminatory, right? That's discrimination. So that's weird. Yeah, and the weird thing about this too is like her dad handed her the company. I'm just saying, like, you're kind of a nepo baby, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she didn't work for it. She doesn't have credentials or whatever. And she was there from the beginning, but your dad handed you the company. So you owe it to, Alexi. Was it Alexi? Yeah. You owe it to, your dad. But that kind of, so I don't know. This is, I think this whole hiring practice though is going to go by the wayside, for sure. Ain't no kind of here. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. I'm trying to be nice. People think I'm very mean. I'm actually not. I'm just old and I try to be pragmatic, but still gets us in trouble. It's so weird. People, again, speaking of Bluesky, I went out yesterday. I think I looked for. I probably could pull this up. You know what? Let's search for Clownfish. Let's search for Clownfish TV because there are some terminally online people. Yeah. I don't know. Replying to Crimson Mayhem. Crimson Mayhem was one of our stalkers, if I remember correctly, and I think he sort of retreated to Bluesky like so many of these relics from 2016. Clownfish TV is a brain rot YouTube channel for idiots out there who want to believe in false lies as opposed to true lies. People Murphy says as opposed to true lies. Hey, at least we got some people calling them out. I used to watch Clownfish TV ever since his video. It's not just me. His video dunking on I'm not Starfire. I'm very ashamed of myself. They keep mixing us up, I think, with somebody else because they keep saying things that we didn't say or that we talk about things that we didn't actually talk about on this channel. I'm like, who the hell are you watching? Because it's not us. I know all, middle-aged white men look the same. to you, but what's this one? Their support of critters. What's critters? And constant attacking of Elio. Actually, my wife gave Elio a good review. What we attacked was Disney's marketing and, how it was kind of sent out to die, and how there was a lot of corporate tinkering going on because they had to like de-gay Elio. But my wife gave it a very good review. She gave it like an 8, I think. So again, it just proves they don't actually watch us. They don't actually watch us. Actual clown people with fishy agendas. Crimson Mayhem, again, one of our stalkers. You know who else is the worst site ever on the internet? Yeah, so we've been very critical of Bluesky because it is the worst site on the internet right now. I mean, they've got people with threats of terrorism. What's this one? They're drinking Clownfish TV juice. Really sad to see Hoyo fans go from saying Hoyo won't replace striking actors to that would be evil to, well, of course they replaced the striking actors. They were striking. They're drinking that Clownfish TV juice. I'm upset. I know what you're talking about. That channel is a cesspool. Welcome to the cesspool, motherfuckers. Let's go for a swim. Well, because we speak the truth. They don't understand. These people don't understand business. They don't understand how these companies think, right? Because they're children whose mothers took a lot of Tylenol, I think, in a lot of cases, and they don't understand business. So they get mad at us when we basically tell them how things work behind the scenes, and they don't like to hear it, including people working in the industry who don't like to hear it. And we talk to people in the industry all the time, and they're telling us how things are going, and it's not going very well. Critters is chat. Oh, is that what it is? Chat GPT. Okay. Shut the fuck up, Clownfish TV. Okay. They have always been right-wing neo-Nazis. Who you're not even, who the hell is this guy? Like, who is he talking to? Does he just could you imagine somebody in real life just walking down the street, just being like, shut the fuck up, Clownfish TV? They probably do. They probably do walk down the street and curse us out. Well, no, that would imply that they leave their houses. I don't know. We actually stood up for Maxwell Adams, who was the creator of Billy and Mandy, and he actually kind of gave us a shout out on Threads, and they attacked him because we said, look, things are not good right now in the animation industry. We'll talk more about that, but we said things are not good in the animation industry right now. And we pointed to his post, we pointed to some other posts, and we said, look, this is not good. When a guy like this is having to sell his stuff to pay the bills, things are not good. And they dogpiled him in Threads until he took the post down. He just said, I watched their video, and they make a lot of good points. And they're clearly talking to people who know what they're talking about. And yeah, things are bad. They didn't want to hear it. So they were telling him to shut up just because he agreed with us. What's this one? Clownfish TV has showed their true colors recently. Is obvious what side they will side with. I'm telling you what's going to happen. We're telling you what's going to happen. That's it. That's all we do is we tell you from a business perspective the decisions that are going to be made. But these people are living in their heads. They don't understand. What's this one? Muscle Man. Clownfish TV also made multiple videos, at least 3 to 4 a week, bitching about how much they hate Bluesky and wish for it to die. You'd think they'd like it more since it keeps the wokies off of Twitter. Fucking grifter lunatics. Well, let's this guy, Clownfish TV, doesn't give a shit about the animators of Disney Animation. If they did, they would stop sucking John Lasseter's ego dick. Don't believe their lies. They're a bunch of hacks and thieves causing chaos. Why do I call them thieves? They're stealing attention away from actual creators on YouTube. They deserve to have their channel demonetized and deleted. End of story. Has it been demonetized yet? I have blocked their channel from my feeds with BlockTube. Sadly, I can't afford that crap, and the algorithm is a mess. So they're openly saying that they're trying to get our channel demonetized. This was months ago. That's some crazy bullshit. Well, I guess it's better than being on a list of people that they want to kill. I haven't gotten to that yet. Wait, what's this? Clownfish TV are Nazis. Can you make a thread about why they're Nazis and their Nazi sympathies and the times they've defended Nazis? Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. They need more hate because some people genuinely think they're left wing. Anybody who's actually right wing listens to us and they know we're kind of softies. You know, it's so fucking weird. It's so weird. Clownfish would be a perfect name for a bait shop. Yeah, it would. I didn't somehow find out who he was and what he used to do before Clownfish TV spread it and make his past haunt him. So they're coordinating. These are just, again, these are people that are terminally online. Yeah, tagging in Mark Hamill. Mr. Hamill, this asshole Clownfish TV said a lie about. I am sorry for sharing this, but I can't stand liars like this. All right, so that takes me to this. These people are just, they're legit mentally ill. Like, I've given up trying to understand the thought process behind them. I think Geeky and I just kind of throw our arms up in the air anymore, and we're just like, I don't know what they're talking about. There are a lot of people on Bluesky that are legitimately, I believe, mentally ill. And that's no knock at people who are struggling with mental issues, but a lot of them are in the same place and they're commiserating. And, you know, years ago, these people would not have had contact with each other or with the general public. They would have probably got more help. I don't know. But there's definitely in this country, in this world right now, a mental health crisis. I believe 100% that's where so much of the problems that we're having right now come from. But Bluesky is having to clamp down on people because they're making death threats and because they're doxing people. It really is a horrible place. It really is one of the worst. I thought Reddit was bad. Nah. You know, at least Reddit's kind of cleaned itself up a little bit. And I'm surprised Bluesky hasn't been hauled before Congress yet, but it's too new. So this comes from TechCrunch. Bluesky says it's getting more aggressive about moderation and enforcement. It sounds like Bluesky is getting serious about giving some users the boot, with the company saying it will be doing more to enforce our moderation policies to better cultivate a space for healthy conversations. Not Clownfish TV need to die because they're Nazis. Help us, Mark Hamill. You're our only hope. Actually, if I talk to Mark Hamill in person, I think we probably have a pretty okay conversation because you know what? We're not going to agree on politics, but I'd rather talk about other stuff. Talk about his dog. He likes his dog. I like dogs. So we just talk about dogs, you know. This is part of a broader update to the social media company's community guidelines after Bluesky asked users in August to provide feedback on an earlier draft of the changes. In a new blog post, the company said it received comments from more than 14,000 members and especially heard from community members who shared concerns about how the guidelines could impact creative expression and traditionally marginalized voices. Yeah, if you've got crazy people on Bluesky, and Bluesky is known as the crazy-ass activist platform, nobody's going to go there. One, it's going to hurt Bluesky as a whole. Two, yeah, people are just going to assume if you have a Bluesky, like I do. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I assume if somebody is mostly on Bluesky now, I just assume they're batshit crazy, probably Antifa, you know, definitely anti-capitalist, and you know, involved in probably some lynch mobs, just like Twitter in 2017. After considering this feedback and a return to our experimental roots, we're going to bring a greater focus to encouraging constructive dialogue and enforcing our rules against harassment and toxic content. For starters, we're going to increase our enforcement efforts. Yeah, I don't think they were I can't believe I'm actually being fair to Bluesky, but to be fair to Bluesky, I don't think they realized the mess that they were inheriting, because it was kind of a ghost town for the first year or so. I was actually a member pretty much at the beginning. I joined pretty much at the beginning. I had an invite, and I like the framework. I like Bluesky as a platform. I don't like the people on it. And a bunch of the terminally online, mentally ill people came over from X because they hated Elon Musk. And then after the election, all hell broke loose. But even people on the left, and we've done videos about this before, people on the left have gone over there and they're like, this place is a cesspool. It is an absolute, just chaotic, horrible place to be. As part of the enforcement, Bluesky said it will more quickly escalate enforcement actions toward account restrictions. Does that include Does that include people who are publicly saying they're going to try to get us demonetized on YouTube? Yeah, you know, YouTube's smarter than that, right? I mean, especially with people that actually make some money for them. They're smarter than that, but you know, these people really aren't smart. When asked for more details, a Bluesky spokesperson told TechCrunch that moving forward, users who violate the guidelines will be getting fewer warnings before their accounts are deactivated. In addition, the company will be making product changes that clarify when content is likely to violate our community guidelines. So perhaps users will also see more warnings before they post content that might run afoul of the guidelines. Who gets banned and why remains a fraught issue for Bluesky. For example, there have been recurring complaints that accounts fundraising for Palestinians in Gaza have been suspended. More recently, this is it right here. This is why they're getting suspended. More recently, many users criticized Bluesky's decision to temporarily suspend horror writer Gretchen Felker Martin due to her now deleted comments about the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Roxanne Gay described Bluesky's decision along with DC Comics' cancellation of the Red Hood comic as unacceptable, ridiculous, and an absolute shame. Yeah, a lot of these people are going to leave probably on their own because they're not getting their own way, but it escalated. We've got people openly celebrating violence, openly calling for violence, creating lists of people they would like to see get, the Charlie Kirk treatment. That is a liability, even if the people at the company agree with them. That is a huge liability, and it makes you look crazy. If you're looking for venture capital, because remember, Bluesky is still in that stage. Can you imagine going to somebody and being like, "Hey, give me $100 million, to keep this platform active?" And yeah, we know people are making death threats, and we know they're doxing people, but you know what? This is going to be a true ex-competitor. This is going to be the next Facebook right here. Yeah, Jen says, yeah, simple way not to get banned. Don't celebrate murder. Yeah, don't raise money for terrorists. Don't dox and attack people. Yeah, that's it. Twitter was okay prior to, I would say 2013, 2014 is when it started to get weird, but I was on Twitter pretty much beginning. I think Geeky and I were both on like 2008, 2009. I think it started in like 2007. So we were there pretty much beginning, and it actually wasn't bad. And the comic book industry back then was normal. And that was at the tail end of the Bush administration, and they were normal. Like everybody was pretty normal. They were just posting cat pictures and, here's my art and whatever. And now everyone is so insane. And every once in a while, prior to Bluesky, prior to Elon Musk buying Twitter, I would see a really insane tweet and I'd be like, who the hell is that? I'm like, oh, I followed this person like 10 years ago. And I didn't know who they were. And they're saying crazy stuff. I'm like, yeah, I can't get on board with this. So let's do a couple of super chats here, and then we'll get back into, I got a couple more things to talk about. Thank you, Lightning Sketch Productions. Do you think DeMauro should have the benefit of the doubt if he becomes the new CEO? I think right now he's hired help, and obviously he's an underling. He'll do what he has to do. But every CEO has to answer to the board. I think if you want to see a fundamental change at Disney, you're going to have to change out the board. I do have more hope for DeMauro, I think, than I do for Dana Walden. But she might actually, well, I don't know. She might have tanked her chances after the Jimmy Kimmel thing. But she's the one that told Jimmy to knock it off, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if Disney's ever going to return. We'll talk about that. I don't know if Disney's ever going to return to being like the animation powerhouse it was. I think it's just an IP rights holder at this point, but thank you, didn't have to do that. Stan the Milkman, I've never understood the grifter insults. I don't get it either. Anybody that makes any money doing anything, if you sell products, you're a grifter. If you have subscriptions, like every other major media outlet, you're a grifter. The New York Times is not grifting if they're begging for money. But if you have subscriptions turned on, you're a grifter. Right. And a lot of these people, look, I'll tell you what I've figured out is it's basically a bunch of jealous bitches. The people who use the grifter insult, they got nothing else. Most of them, this is true, 99% of the time, when we get somebody that's like going hard at us, I go out and check and see if they have a YouTube account or they have a Twitch account or something, or they've tried to do comics or whatever. And 99% of the time, they've tried and they've failed. So they start attacking other people who are actually doing okay at it because they don't understand why other people are doing well. They're not doing well. And usually you can take a look at their account and their tweet history, and you can see why they're not doing well. It's like, you are thoroughly unlikable. You are thoroughly unlikable, because it ain't that hard to do the internet thing. Just you are not a very good person. People don't like you. That's that. And sometimes you've got great content, it just doesn't take off. But most of the time, they're just they've tried to do it. They're unlikable. There's one person that was doing podcast after podcast about us. And I'm like, what is their deal? Like, every other day, I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like, oh, you've got like 100 followers. Okay, now it makes a lot more sense. Then eventually, because they kept tagging us in on videos too, and I never responded because I don't check the notifications on YouTube most of the time. And they kept trying to get us to engage them. So a lot of times what these people do too, the tactic is they want to like lure you into a debate to boost their own platform. And I think that's what happened with what's her name, the one animation gal that was going at us. She made like 10 videos about us and how awful we were, and she wound up taking some of them down because it turned out we were right about the animation industry. I'm going to talk about that. It turned out we were actually right about the animation industry and the state of it. So she took some of that stuff down. Thank you very much. Didn't have to do that. Grizzly Nightmare, thank you. Who's taller, you or Squid King? Currently I am. But weirdly enough, I've got two brothers, and I'm 6'3", and I've got two younger brothers, and they're both taller than I am. So one's like 6'4", and the other one's like 6'5", and our mom is like 5'10". No, she might be shorter than that. She might be like 5'7". I don't know. It's very weird. Genetics are weird. I don't understand it. Japanese Demon Lord says the Tumblr refugees is what causes Twitter to go crazy. Yeah, so it's all the same audience, right? And I'll tell you, because again, being old, I've seen it in real time. So that audience a lot of them came from forums, and then they went to LiveJournal, and then they went to Tumblr, and then from Tumblr, when they banned the porn, they went to Twitter. And then when Elon Musk bought, they went to Bluesky. And every time they jump platforms, they get more and more and more extreme. It's really wild. 6'3", Neon, no enjoying any type of good spa treatments or bathtub. I can't fit in the bathtub. I can't. Taller little bros. Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird because I'm the oldest by several years, and I was the tallest kid in my class, and then my brothers came along. I'm like, damn, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened there. Again, genetics are weird. Okay, so let's talk about the animation industry real quick. I had a whole bunch of stuff pulled up yesterday. I'm just trying to do like a speed run, I guess. They're not greenlighting a lot of animation right now. It's not looking real good for animation. So this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter. Apple TV Plus is not doing animation. We've got Kidscreen saying that they're not ordering. I'm not going to go to their paywall, but it's the same story all over. There's not a market right now for animated content. Luminate had this a couple days ago that there's a drop in TV animation. So a lot of these people are losing their collective shit, and they think their union is going to save them. I'm like, the union only works if you're working, right? The union's not going to do anything for you if you're not working, if they're not greenlighting anything. So what's going to happen is these people are probably going to have a lot more time. And I think this is what happens. I think they're laid off. They go out to social media to kill time because they're not working. They find our videos because our channel is not, we're not a huge channel, but we're not a small channel either. So they find our videos, and then they get angry. They're angry at the situation. They find us. They think we're rubbing salt in the wound. Sometimes we do if they're assholes, but if they're just working people who want their jobs and they don't constantly stir up shit, I'm not going to be happy about somebody losing their job. But yeah, it's not looking good. And this is all the same stuff we've been saying. This is coming from Animation Magazine just a couple days ago. Following a deep dive into the potential impact of AI on the industry, Luminate Intelligence has put together a new animation-focused report, this time exploring the challenges and trends behind the rapid decline in series orders across broadcast, cable, and streaming after COVID. oh my God, guys, it's almost as if we were right. Look at this. You can see all these streaming shows they're greenlighting 2018, 2021. Oh my God, we thought animation was going to save us. And then once it became apparent that these shows were not generating any meaningful revenue, look at it, fell off a freaking cliff. And it's going to keep falling off a cliff. They said the report and supporting figures illustrate, unlike when its work from home production flexibility was needed to power the U.S. TV through the pandemic, the post-peak market is hitting animation as well as live action. Total animated series orders across platforms have dropped from 225 in 2021 to just 71. And year's almost up. I think they would have greenlit more, right? Streaming services had the biggest increase in animated series orders. Yeah, Netflix has money, right? They said most of Crunchyroll stuff is produced in Japan. I think after Demon Slayer, I think that they're going to look to Japan for content. They're not going to be greenlighting your Tumblr, shipping fanfic or whatever. They said, adult animation's doing okay. South Park's doing okay. But yeah, this is why I think, and they said generative AI is causing a disruption in the workforce. And I think what's going on is that a lot of these companies are waiting for AI to catch up. But they're saying Apple TV Plus isn't greenlighting stuff either. I might talk, maybe Geeky and I'll do this one later and talk a little bit more about this. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound or anything, but I told you so. I was like, we told you so. So let's switches here. I wanted to talk about this. Speaking of generative AI. All right. I had this pulled up from a couple days ago, and I'm not sure where it is. I gotta find it here. Oh, okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Again, I'm not good at this. Here we go. All right. So man, they're so crazy about the generative AI, right? So remember when Wizards was all like, yeah, we're not using AI, bro, honest. And then it turned out they got busted on multiple occasions using AI. So now we have another article where Wizards of the Coast is basically saying, yeah, we're going to totally use AI. We're just going to dance around the issue. And I got to give a hat tip to Graph Paper Architect who sent this over a couple days ago. I was going to do a video about it, but I kind of looked at it. I'm like, everybody knows Wizards is going to use AI, and they already are using AI. And, so let's see here. There we go. All right. So where is it? It is down here under one roof and all the way down. They bury it. There we go. They bury it. They bury it in this article from gamesindustry.biz. All right, we move on to the thorny topic of AI. And this is the guy that's in charge of Wizards right now. What role does Haidt think it will play in the future of game development? He stresses that Magic and D&D are both very supportive of the art community, and that artists are the foundation of both. The art that you see in D&D products will come from the mind of a human, and it will be made by a human. He's open, however, to the use of AI to come up with ideas. But the final product, the thing you see, will be made by a human being, and that's our position on it. So we're not using generative AI to create the artwork for our cards or games. Would it count if you traced it? Because I think that's what they're going to do. He thinks that AI could be used to help out the development process. Absolutely, we're looking at that. No, they're already doing it. I'm telling you right now, this is the thing that's so weird. Just come out and say it, right? I know you're going to get attacked on Twitter or whatever, and people are going to boycott your booth at the convention, try to get you canceled. I can tell you for a fact, all these companies are already using AI. They're using it more than they would like to admit, or that people would like to admit. Everybody knows this. Everybody that's actually working in the industry knows this. But they're not being honest. It's a corporation. They're going to cut corners where they can cut corners. If you can make 3 times the number of Magic cards that you could without AI, why as a corporation would you not use AI? And if the general public doesn't care, and I think the general public doesn't care because AI product has gone out and people haven't noticed or haven't said anything, because a lot of that product is actually paid for and they don't notice until, or the people that are anti-AI don't notice until somebody actually buys the product, because most of these people don't actually buy anything. But I'm just telling you, it's here. It's here. Um, yeah, this is Jeremy. Jeremy Cardinal says, no, you tweak it just enough to call it your own legally. You're welcome. Yeah, that's it. If you have like a base painting, say we have an orc painting or something like that, or ogre or something. You have the base painting, but then you put another layer over it and you tweak a couple of things, or you have like a generic dark elf and you tweak it enough to look like DREZZED or whatever. Then it's yours, and that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see this really weird. I call it cyborg art, but I think we're going to have this really kind of weird space where it's the idea was a human idea. You have the AI generate some of it, and then the human finishes it, and then you can copyright it, you can trademark it, whatever. And they're saying that for legal reasons. I agree 100%, because we have OpenAI actually working on animated movies right now. They're 100% AI. So it's really interesting, though. But they're trying to dance around it. It's like the idea here would be to see how players respond to AI-generated lines first, and then examine how dialogue works in the game. They're talking about an MMORPG. They're using it to generate audio performances so a writer can hear their words before we go into the recording studio. He thinks machine learning could be useful for checking errors in code. AI is good at that. Dynamic difficulty is another area where he thinks AI could be useful. Look, I'm telling you, they're going all in on it. They're just not telling you, because Chris Cox is all about it. They're all about it. Disney. I mean, for all this talk of like, Disney, we need, to unionize the Disney artists and whatever. It's like Disney's already, they have a whole division that they've set up just for AI. Why lie about it, right? Why lie? You get busted. Basically what happens is they want to plow ahead. All these corporations want to plow ahead and use it. And they put millions and millions of dollars into it. And then a couple of people on social media complain about it, and then they walk it all back. But they're not actually walking it back. They're just waiting for the temperature to cool down a little bit. And I think it's going to come out in the future that some of the movies we saw this year used AI for some scenes, and it just wasn't broadcast because they knew that the internet or Bluesky would have a meltdown about it. That is what I think. So we'll see. Shadow Tamer, thank you. Super sticker. Thank you very much. Did not have to do that. Stan the Milkman says, while South Korea media industry is growing on average 10% year on year over the last 5 years. Yeah, a lot of the animation, most Western, I think it's so funny. Most Western animation is actually done in South Korea. And then they outsource it to other countries that may outsource it to countries like North Korea, but we don't talk about that. That's once you send it to a production house like Rough Draft or something, it's like it's up to them. It's up to them, right? Dynamic difficulty. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either. I'm really not a big fan of that. So let's see what else we got here. We're going to remove this. I might have one or two more, and then I think we're going to wrap it up here. Because I try to go about an hour. I don't like going longer than that because I know you guys have things to do. I have things to do. But let's see here. We'll go back to this one. What did I have pulled up here? Robert Kuntz, okay. Mist. Oh, yeah, Mist. This was September 24th. Okay, you want to feel old? 32 years ago today, on September 24th, Mist was released. 32 years. That's insane. I remember when Mist was like a huge deal. I'm going to be honest, and this is no offense to the developers at Cyan, but I always thought Mist was really boring. I thought it was a beautiful, boring game. But at the time when it came out, and I remember when it came out, there was nothing like it. It was amazing. The graphics were amazing, and it looks really quaint now, but it was like mind blowing. People were buying CD-ROM drives for their 386, 486 PCs just to play this game. It was crazy. Mist is older than me. Yeah, Mist is, that's crazy. I was in high school, starting high school. I remember it came out and everybody was talking about, like, you see this game Mist? The graphics are amazing. PC Gamer had Baldur's Gate 3 runs natively on Steam Deck thanks to a single Larian engineer who started the project after hours because he really wanted a smoother version of the game on Steam Deck. That's crazy. Like, yeah, people used to put their own time into projects. People worked for different companies just because they wanted to make the product better. Now nobody wants to work because, capitalism sucks and you don't want your company to make money. Hollywood Horror Museum had this. Rick Moranis is officially out of retirement for Spaceballs 2. There he is with his helmet. I wish he would have come back for Ghostbusters, but the last one really sucked. So, it's probably for the best he didn't. Mondo has since we're talking about animation, over the garden wall figures. That's kind of interesting. They haven't done action figures yet. But again, that shows you the demographic for a lot of these cartoons. It's not children because Mondo figures are crazy expensive. But these look really nice. That was a good show. And it knew when to wrap it up. But it's become kind of a cult classic. Let's see what else we got here. I think that's it. I think I was going to talk about UFOs, but I don't really feel like it. So maybe we'll talk about UFOs in another episode. Go out to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com. Sign up to be notified. We actually have paywalled content out here since you guys are listening. We're going to be starting a couple of new podcasts. I actually have them recorded. We just need to get them edited and up, and they're going to be exclusive to this site. But every time we post a video, you will get an email notification because I don't trust YouTube. And you guys shouldn't trust YouTube either. So there we go. Lemon pen revealed in the writing. Kids watch YouTube, not cartoons. Yeah, it's true. They do. And it's all AI stuff now, right? I mean, it's all like babies with teacup heads and stuff. It's really weird. There's some really weird stuff on YouTube. Cats are big. Teacup head babies are big. Celebrities as babies. Trump as a baby. Just basically babies. Anything babies is big on YouTube. But again, it's kids aren't watching Cartoon Network. They're not watching Disney Channel. But yeah, check out news.clownfishtv.com. We're going to try to build out the side, build out the back. That sounds bad. From YouTube. I don't trust YouTube. And also you can go out to Spotify. We have our episodes, audio versions of the episodes out there. I think video versions are out there too. Go out to Spotify, subscribe over there. Leave us a 5-star review. That'd be great. That'd be great if you guys could do that. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks so much for spending your morning with us. And hopefully you will come back and we'll see how the live stream thing goes. I'm going to try it for about a month. See if you guys like it. If you guys like it, we'll keep doing it. If you don't like it, whatever. I'll just cancel myself. There we go. So thank you very much, guys. Make sure I got everybody here. I think we're good. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.